Your information station, WTIM.
Good morning, WTIM, your information station. Leroy Klamola here with you on this Wednesday morning. Happy to be with you as we are talking to our Master Gardeners of Christian County, Gwen Podesky and Linda Smith, joining us this morning. And ladies, glad to have you on the show. How are you?
Great. Nice to see the sun this morning.
I know it. I feel like it's been a few minutes since we've seen it, but it's good. So we're excited. It feels warmer than what it should for a day in January. But
wait till tonight.
Yeah, it's. I think this is the highlight, folks.
It's single digits tonight.
There you go.
We'll take it. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and get things started off here as we have some awesome stuff going on. What is going on? The jokester in me would say it's January. There's nothing going on. You can't plant stuff in January, but
that's right.
But I would imagine that that's not 100% true right now.
That is not 100% true. And even the things you don't plant in January might need the best time to take care of them is January.
Right.
And
thinking about what you're going to be doing in February and March and later on in the spring, everybody probably received seed catalogs over the holidays.
I'm sure.
So getting those seeds ordered as soon as possible is probably a better option than waiting until later, because in my case, there are certain pumpkin seeds that they run out. And so if you don't get your order in, you're kind of out of luck. And so
kind of the fancy glitzy newer than usual stuff.
Right.
They have limited availability. So if you've seen, oh, this is the plant of the year and I really want it, you better get it ordered. They will run out early in the run of something like that.
Yeah, and you wouldn't necessarily think that you run into those issues, but supply and demand, right?
That's right. That's right. It's a matter of supply and demand.
Super important. But yeah, that's awesome.
And marketing. I mean, they market these things, and marketing drives the market. So
that's right. And then you'll continue to get emails all through the spring about, we've got this for you and we've got that for you. And, so you're on their list from then on. But there are a lot of reputable companies out there that are really good to deal with and don't send you plants that are dead in the boxes when they arrive, or seeds that haven't been taken care of. So, you just learn over the years which companies are good to deal with and not.
I feel like that's one of those things where you start with one plant, and the next thing you know, you've got like 40 in your house, and you're like, wait, when did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
That's what master gardeners are known for.
Right, exactly. And that's part of the winter. That's part of kind of the challenge of winter gardening is for those folks who have a lot of house plants or have brought them in. I think I shared some pictures with you of grow lights, and that has really made a difference in I do limited house plants. I like to have a garden free zone, but the ones that I do have, the grow lights, are fantastic. They really can make a difference in a house plant's life and health.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about those grow lights and how important they are.
Well, and kind of how to properly use them, because you can't just put a light bulb in there.
No,
usually. If you look at the pictures of the grow lights I sent, there are pink bulbs in there and white bulbs and things. So they are kind of a little bit tailored to be more like the full spectrum of the sun.
They look like lightsabers.
Yeah, the one does. The one looks like some sort of really strange outer space round thing. But if you look at them closely, and the other thing is, you need to have them right down on the plants. You don't want them way up, because that makes the plants reach, which is what they usually do. Even if you set them in a sunny window, they'll reach for the sun. If you keep the grow lights low over them, and that's the truth when you're starting the seeds Linda's talking about, or anything else, to keep those things where the plants don't have to reach and become leggy and weak.
Because a lot of times what people do is they forget about their house plants in the basement under the grow light, and they go down there and they've got a jungle because my mother-in-law had plants growing down there and they were stuck to the walls. They were growing up the walls, and so you still have to be diligent about watering and making sure that the light, like Gwen says, is adequate for the plants and not making them reach because
Mhm.
that spends energy that they could be spending on producing blooms later and whatnot.
Right.
So they'll just kind of just take off on its own when if you
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, plants don't like exactly. They got some kind of
Brain.
brain matter, and they do those things on their own. Yes.
No, I'm enjoying. I'm looking at these pictures right here, and you can see them if you're watching our live stream as well. It's fantastic. They got this one looks like a ring light that's over it,
Right, and that one's really nice because it's on a telescoping pole, and you can just stick it right down in the plant's pot if you've got a big plant, which that one is in a fairly big pot, and then
Raise it up as it-
adjust the height as you need to. So
Huh.
it's really a good one. And the other one, the one with
Yes.
all the arms, you can bend those and sort of get them like where they really are over the plant. So good idea. If you're going to have house plants and you really care, I mean, if you've got the big things like orchids or monstera or some of those, I think a little investment in grow lights are, like I did, ask my daughter for them for Christmas. That's how I got them.
Gwen, we talked a little bit about keeping them a little bit lower because it will help with everything. But is there a certain place you should put your grow lights, whether like something like north or on the west side, or is there anything favorable like that? Or is
No,
it just
because that just really, my grow lights are on timers. The good ones will be on timers, and you can set them for either 4 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours, I think. So
Okay.
just kind of look at what your plant's natural day might be and adjust that accordingly. So, or
Because-
whatever you're like I've got one set in the bedroom, and nobody wants to sleep at night with the lights on. So yeah. So yeah.
But I think too that a lot of plants normally, when you bring them in, house plants would like indirect light
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
in the winter time. And so they may get full sun and then not so full sun later on in the day. But any kind of sun that they get is helpful. And plants vary on how much light they do need too, depending upon
Where they were
where
grown
they
and-
were grown. If they're tropical, they're going to need full sun. And if they're a philodendron, say, they can live practically without any light. And so it depends on the plants too.
Right.
That's why I have a cactus in my office.
There
I
you
don't
go.
got to worry about it
There
too
we
much.
go. Other than pulling out the thorns.
That's right.
No, that's fantastic. We're on the morning show here talking to Gwen Podesky and Linda Smith a little bit about some of the cool stuff that's going on with the Master Gardeners. All kinds of pictures and awesome stuff up on our live stream, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust. And boy, just some awesome stuff that we can do in order to keep our plants safe during the winter and to keep them growing well. Is there anything we got about just a couple more minutes here in this first segment? Anything else about grow lights you'd like to talk about? Anything else maybe is there certain plants that work better with the lights as far as what's going on? Is there? I know there's some plants you have to plant every year, and others that are that basically are
Right. Well, I just think that any time you can get, I mean, it what it does is expands your growing space in your house. So if you've got a room that you maybe necessarily don't think it's a great room, doesn't have the right windows or whatever, a lot of people have newer homes with energy efficient rooms where there's like one little window up there at the top. This expands where you're able to grow your plants and how much success you have with them.
awesome.
A lot of people do take their plants inside, outside,
Mhm.
inside, outside. I'm a little hesitant to do that anymore just because what I do brings in other things that I don't want, like
Right.
squash bugs all winter long in the house, and
Mhm.
so you have to put up with some of that as well. But I think a lot of people, in the wintertime, we love houseplants. And if they bloom, it's just
That-
Wonderful.
Right. And I mean, they clean the air. Houseplants do help clean and
Right.
filter your air. They're plants. They're going to take in carbon dioxide and put out oxygen. That's one of their deals.
right.
So anyway, but I think anything, and it just makes you happier. I mean, seasonal affective disorder, if nothing else, if you're a problem with that, I heard this morning, sit under your grow light. Go and sit in a room where your plants are with your grow lights. Maybe it will help with the seasonal affective disorder. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more with the Master Gardeners of Christian County right here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station. WTIM. Your information station. WTIM.
And welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. Leroy Kamola here this morning, filling in for Grayson, who's on the way to a road show. We're going to have a high school road tour in just a little bit. But we're wrapping things up with the Master Gardeners, Gwen Podesky and Linda Smith joining us this morning. Guys, we've got some events coming up. Let's talk a little bit about some of those events that are coming up here.
And we'll start off with Linda's got some information. There is a tree care expertise classes being offered online.
Okay. It's a series that you can sign up for. The first one was yesterday, but there are five more actually additional workshops that you can attend, and you can pick the ones you want to attend or not pick the ones you want to attend. I'm a big chainsaw advocate. I love it's not really about the chainsaw, it's about the burn when I get done, but I have to get to that point. And so chainsaw safety is very important, especially for people like me who just, I go crazy when I get out there, and I want to get everything down. And I have
Linda's channeling her inner Jason.
I am.
Telling you,
I am. Oh my gosh, yes. And everybody that knew me when I was working knew that was my stress relief, And so, and it was just I enjoy that part of it, clearing, making sure that the invasive plants are down and I don't have to worry about them, and then making sure they don't come back up again and all of that. But this workshop, there is one session on chainsaw safety and pruning on February 3rd. And a lot of the sessions are for commercial people. And of course, if you're in the chainsaw business, can be a commercial business for you if you want. But changing climate and historic pests is another one that you really need to be aware of, which plants are invasive, because they still sell them, even though they're not supposed to be planted.
Yeah, I think I've heard Illinois is finally going to ban the sale of calorie pears, but it's not going to take effect until either 27 or 28.
Right.
Right. And we've known those are problems for the last 10 to 12 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Missouri banned them a long time
several
ago.
years ago.
Many years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. And one on after planting and tree responses. So, spring is a good time to plant trees. Everybody thinks they need to plant trees, but you also need to know how to plant a tree and not to have problems later because of where you planted it in the ground, too high, too low, those kinds of things. So
yeah, if you think it looks cute, you put it in there, it's all set up, and then 3 years later, you've got a real issue on your hands.
Right.
Right.
And watering trees is a critical part of making sure that they're going to keep growing, because after a summer like this, where we had no rain, you better have watered it and watered it and watered it, an inch a week at least.
Something we tried to tell people all through that last year was, do not forget. It's not one time with the sprinkling can when you're out there planting it. You better have a plan for an inch a week.
And it's multiple years. You do that for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Instead of just 1 year and it looks like it's blooming okay, it'll be fine. Probably won't be fine if it doesn't get enough water,
Right.
or won't be the tree that it could be.
Right. And then, pruning it, back to the chainsaw thing, pruning it when you are, as it grows, to make sure that it grows into the tree you want it to
Right.
be. So,
Right. Right.
Her eyes sparkled when you said chainsaw again.
Yeah,
so
I know. I could see that.
Gets all
I could see
excited.
that,
you know?
Right.
All right,
Oh,
so
well.
we've got these great events coming up, and so how can people register for those? Is what do they got to do for that?
Yes, for the extension, for the tree care series, you just go to the U of I Extension website and horticulture, and then you pick the one that you want to go to or the series that you want to attend, and you can sign up, register there, and move on. And Gwen's got information about the Gardening Insights, which is coming up in Macon County, and that's a fun one to go to.
And that's a Saturday, February 28th. It's at the Foursquare Church, Life Foursquare Church on Ash Avenue in Decatur. You can register by February 22nd. They've got lots of great sessions, everything from hummingbirds to planting ginger in your home, tree care and soils, winter seed sowing. And you can go to go.illinois.edu/gardening insights and register for that. It's only a half-day session, so it's like 8 a.m. until 12:45.
Right.
But they've also got shopping there, so you can do a little bit of. They've got a lot of good vendors and things that are garden related. So it's fun,
Cool.
fun time,
Good deal.
fun time had by all. And if you are not comfortable with online registration, 217-877-6042.
All right, guys, we got about a minute left here on our show. Anything else you'd like our listeners to know? Otherwise, let's get your information about where people can go to get more information on the Master
Why don't
Gardeners.
you tell them about your
Well, why don't we do
experience?
the tree care thing? If you've got those shots of the truck being crushed,
Yep.
I've got a page here that we hand out in the office called Hiring a Tree Care Professional. And as I told my aunt after her truck was crushed by the neighbor who was cutting his own dead tree down, there is nothing like a professional. It's always good to avoid really bad damage, tree care professionals are the people to go to. They will not drop trees on your neighbor's trucks, hopefully. Because I mean, then that's the thing with yourself, and even with the chainsaw, I've always heard a good rule is if you're up on a ladder, you shouldn't have a chainsaw in your hand.
That's right.
And there are things that best left to the professional, because if you don't want crushed vehicles or yourself injured, that's the other part of it. And it's the other important part about the chainsaw safety is learning as much as you can learn. I attended a really good session at the Gateway Green one time that was put on by a steel chainsaw person who was talking about chainsaw safety, because that's, those machines, it's just, it's a little bit like the guy climbs out on the limb and then cuts the limb off, but
yeah. All right. We are out of time. We take a break. Gwen Podesky and Linda Smith joining us on the Master Gardeners.